And here we are with another field interview, this time joined with one of the members of
scenery, but same location.
Battery issues. You know how it goes. Why we didn't bring 3 batteries, that's a different conversation. But we actually have one of the members of Creature here. We're talking with Mark Schramm, and Creature just came out with their first in-house game, Starship Home. You can see me wearing
which we know
nice
is going to
pin.
be.
Got a nice sticker on my mic too if you're watching on camera. So Creature's got a lot going with it, with acting as a little bit of a quote-unquote label. Then you have the side quest fun, but then you also have in-house games like Starship Home. So Mark, I'm going a little on a tangent, but do you want to introduce yourself a little bit for our listeners and tell them, who you are and what you do over at Creature?
Yeah, I'm Mark Schramm. I'm Director of Engineering at Creature. I've been around in the VR space since like the early DK1 days. One game that I brought over to Quest was Super Hot VR. Some of you might have played. But yeah, and I've been working with Creature now, and to like build a really cool, big, little mixed reality experience that I think is really setting the tone for the medium right now. Yeah,
that's awesome. And mixed reality, full-fledged game. It's so cool to see these popping up in the ecosystem. Yeah. So what exactly is Starship Home for people that haven't seen it yet?
Yeah, Starship Home is like a cozy sci-fi narrative adventure game. It's like 4 to 5 hour gameplay. You go to alien planets, you visit them, you collect plants, you nurture those plants, you nurture them back to health, and then you get to dream with those plants and experience their inner lives through their dreams.
That's something special right there. I think when you talk to people about VR or AR or MR, they always go to like virtual pets or like, gardens and that kind of stuff. So this is kind of an inevitable stepping stone in the development of mixed reality experiences.
Well, it's a good use of mixed reality. It's going to make it fun. It's in your space, and it's actually giving you something to do other than just maybe sit and watch something happen. So
yeah.
And is there a story that goes along with the game as well?
There is, right? Like, so it's not just plants in your space, but you get delivered a mysterious box. It's the right address, but the wrong planet. And you open up that box, and it's a bunch of Starship parts. And then the person that originally was supposed to get the Starship calls you and essentially says, like, hey, you've got my ship. And I really need it because, like, there's this weird, mysterious blight going across the galaxy. And they really need it because they wanna go and heal it. And they ask you to assemble that ship. So essentially turn your living room or your bedroom into a spaceship. And then lift off, and you fly to their place. To return the ship because they need it, and then things happen, and that players will have to find out. But then you go into this like journey across the galaxy in search of a cure for the blight.
That's right address, wrong planet.
That's freaking awesome. And that's why Stellar X, our little FedEx company, doesn't want to return the parcel because it's the right address. Like, you got the planet wrong, so that's on you.
I love it. It's like a lost luggage, but with a whole starship.
Yes.
That's freaking cool. And how much does the game cost right now at release?
I think it's $19.99, yeah.
$19.99, that's
US
very
dollars,
fair for a cutting-edge mixed reality experience. And geez, it just came out today. I mean, it's been a couple hours, I think, since release. So it's kind of a hard question to ask and even more hard to answer, I'm sure. But what's the reception been like in this couple hours of launch?
I think it's really nice to see people actually getting it, right? Like, it's always nice. Like, we have our Discord server, and we've got a bunch of players on there. They're just posting pictures of where they put their plants, how they set up their spaceship, and like, they're such sweethearts. Like, they're really nice, and yeah, people seem to really be really getting it. We have a bunch of good press coverage as well. People seem to really like the game, and I think also people understand that mixed reality is still like, it's an evolving platform, right? And with all the software and all the hardware, nothing is perfect yet. So like, there are growing pains, like, scene anchors and all the scene API stuff. That stuff drifts sometimes if lighting is bad. But I think players are understanding of that, yeah.
I mean, come on, it's such a new medium. If you have a little anchor hiccup or, a placement issue of something, it's part of the growth of mixed reality. It's getting much better than it was like a year ago, 2 years ago when we first started seeing mixed reality experiences. Hell, it's to the point your room can be mapped for you. You don't need to draw the furniture and the desk. So we're definitely, mixed reality is getting there, but this game's clearly, a game doesn't come out in 6 months, so it's something that you guys have been working on for a little bit of time now, right? How long was this game in development?
About 2 years now, yeah.
So 2 years ago, dude, the mixed reality...
There was nothing back then, yes. we were all doing like color, so black and white pass-through on the Quest 2 at the time, yeah. and just like thinking ahead, like what could be out in 2 years' time when our production wraps. It was like an interesting guesswork. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And what have been some of the challenges in making a game like this in mixed reality?
Yeah, obviously we have like the whole SDK side of things. Like that stuff is like rapidly evolving, and we're working with Meta to sort of push the platform forward and like what we can do, what's available to developers, and also the stability of it. So all of that was like a continued, like conversation that we had with Meta. But also in general, just trying to make a meaningful narrative in mixed reality is something that I don't think many people really have tried. Like there's a lot of like little MR demos or like MR modes for games, but no one's really tried to make a game that's like all MR, always MR for like 4 to 5 hours of the narrative. And trying to tell a story that takes place in your living room, but like brings you somewhere else and like makes you feel like you're going on a road trip with your living room. It's pretty out there, yeah.
And I mean, at what point was the studio convinced on mixed reality that this is the what we want to go forward with?
I think very early on, we prototyped just like placing a window on your wall. It's not just a flat window, but like has an internal geometry that you then can see outside of your room. And then we just looked outside the room and we put like a skybox out there with stars. And just being in this room had such a like it was your living room. But then you looked out the window and you were in space, so it didn't feel like your room anymore. And just like that transformative moment where like you providing different context to your space, that felt so incredibly powerful. We thought, yeah, this is something that we want to experience as a full title. Yeah,
that's awesome. And do you have any questions regarding Starship Home?
That's pretty good. I'm just happy you had the time to stick it out and talk for a little bit, get to say what you got going on, and see what everyone thinks in a couple of weeks once the dust settles. Hopefully after Connect, you have some time with your team to take a deep breath and just let everything kind of sink in. But I think you've made a great product. So
yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And how have you been, before we wrap it up, how have you been enjoying Connect this year?
Oh, it's a great Connect. I mean, we obviously all need like a more mass market, mixed reality headset. That's what we at Creature have been waiting for. So the Quest 3 is great, but maybe out of reach for some people. Mm-hmm. And the Quest 3S, like mixed reality, is just as good. And I mean, if you're getting it on like launch day, Batman comes out a week later. You have a whole week to play Starship Home. And if you get it afterwards, play Batman. That's bundled. And then if you're looking for like the next cool title to play, try Starship Home.
Awesome. Available now on the MetaQuest. Thank you, Mark, for taking the time with us. I'm excited to hop into it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.